Myanmar, tens of thousands of Rohingya Muslims have had their homes burnt down and scores have been killed. Nearly 60,000 Muslims used to live in this area, but as you can see, it is now a wasteland. The Myanmar government and much of the world's media would have you believe that this is merely a fight between two ethnic groups.
If UK would like to sympathize you, them, Rohingyas, we would like to send all of them to your country, okay? They are not our national, no our ethnic groups.
On this week's In Focus, we uncover evidence that the government are involved. In Myanmar's capital, Yangon, we had arranged a meeting with a Rohingya Muslim politician. He said he would reveal to us the sheer scale of atrocities happening in the country. For safety reasons, we can't show his face. Recently released, he spent 8 years in prison for joining a banned political party. How many people have been killed so far?
In thousands, I think the figure will be.
You think thousands?
In thousands, the whole of Arakan.
We've heard about 78 people.
This is official version, it is not true. In one occasion, in one village, there are about 70, 40, 50 people killed, burned down, taken away, no return.
Who's doing the killing? Is it?
Rakhine mobs, you see, unscrupulous or what you call hooligans or militants.
And what is the army doing? Are they doing any of the killing? Are they arresting people? Are they torturing
the killing is what you call aided by the security forces. 3 forces, police, Nasaka, and paramilitary.
What do you mean aided?
Aided means they encourage. They don't prevent the Rakhine people. Somewhere they shoot the people, somewhere. In the name of curfew, they shot a lot of Muslims in Mongdo.
I was able to speak to Rohingyas on the ground. They told me stories of friends and family members being killed, of hundreds languishing in jail, and whole villages being burnt down. We wanted to get into the conflict zone, but we were told by our informants that there was no way we would get in. We're now travelling to Sittwe, one of the major towns of Rakhine province, where there's been allegations of tens of thousands of people being forcibly removed from their homes. Now, we've heard that the government has the whole area under military lockdown, so we're not quite sure if we're even going to be able to get into the area. We might get to the airport and be turned straight back. We're going to try anyway. Myanmar is notorious for being one of the most closed and repressive countries in the world. Imagine our surprise then when we were let through airport security with no questions asked. All looked normal in Rakhine province, except for the heavy police and army presence. But then we arrived at what was once a bustling village. A sign reads, "No entry." Our local helper was keen to tell us that it was not just Rohingya Muslim houses that were burnt down. Around 500 people used to live in this village. We're told both Muslims and Rakhine Buddhists, but we know that it was mainly a Muslim village. The remains of a mosque over there, a bit of a giveaway. It's been burnt down too. We can also tell that people left in a hurry, some of them even leaving their shoes behind. Next door, Rakhine Buddhist houses remained intact. I went in search of some eyewitnesses. Did you see what happened? He tells me that he fled the violence when it started, but that it was Muslims who started it. A village elder wanted to speak to us. Have the Rakhine burnt any houses down?
Nothing how in the Muslim house. All house is fire in all the Muslim house. No, Rakhine house. Rakhine people is no ban the Muslim house.
Despite the elders' protestations, I found it hard to believe that Muslims would burn down their own mosque.
What do you want to happen to the Rohingya?
Rohingya have no any Rohingya.
I asked our local helper to take us to see some Rohingya Muslims so we could hear their side of the story. He said it was too dangerous today. The military wouldn't let us. Instead, he took us to a Rakhine Buddhist refugee camp. He seemed very keen for us to see both sides of a story that was becoming more confusing by the minute. The few dozen refugees we saw were being housed in a Buddhist monastery. When we arrived, they were eating lunch. Some of the children were watching TV. The medical staff told us that not long ago there were around 2,300 people here, but now far fewer.
How many people?
385 people.
385 people.
385?
Yeah.
The rest have returned to their homes, which haven't been burnt down. The camp was well stocked with supplies.
And you have enough medical supplies?
Yeah, our government supply.
The Myanmar government have been selling the story that this is an equal fight between two opposing groups. They say that then they sent in the military to stop the violence. It's a story that Western governments have bought. They have either stayed silent or applauded the government's actions. I wondered if that was why I was allowed into the region, in the expectation that I would buy the story too. The next day, what was really happening became clearer. This is the Nazi district in Sitwe town. On first sight, the devastation is truly shocking. Like the aftermath of a war or a natural disaster, only Muslims lived here.
Nearly 60,000 Muslims used to live in this area, but as you can see, it is now a wasteland. First of all burnt down, and then the military came to clear the rest away. Nothing remains.
There were schools here and at least 5 mosques. Muslim shops nearby have been ransacked. All the surrounding houses are Rakhine. They have been left intact. Areas like this are scattered all across northern Rakhine state. Many tens of thousands are now homeless.
We've been warned we can't stay here for too long. Already we're getting some hassle off the local authorities. Obviously a lot of Rakhine people don't want these images getting out to the world.
People were lining the road amongst a heavy security presence. Today, the former vice president of Indonesia and various UN organizations were being allowed in to see the camps. We're entering a Rohingya refugee camp now. This is the first time we've seen large groups of Rohingya people. Already, the two communities have been completely separated. A young man started following us on his bike. He told us he wanted to speak to us.
Are you living in the camps? You are?
And also there is lots of refugee camps.
We were taken into a courtyard. These young men say they face arrest just for talking to us. The police hovered outside.
We saw some of the police and police force are combined with the Rakhine communities. At the beginning of the setting fire, first the police force shoot the gun, and then the Rakhine communities tried to set fire. When the Muslim communities tried to stop fire, at that time the police force started to shoot gun to the Muslim communities.
5 our villagers were killed by the police officers.
And did the police officers burn any houses?
Yeah, they burned itself to our Rohingyas' houses.
Do you think the government is behind the attacks on Muslims, the burning of the houses?
Yeah, of course.
Why? Why would the government burn down your houses? Or why would the government want to burn down your houses?
The government always try to root our generations out. That is why they made this plan. This violence is created by our president and RNDP leaders.
Is this state-sponsored ethnic cleansing?
Ethnic cleansing, yeah. They don't want to us to mix with them, to live together with them. So just they are trying to kick out us from Myanmar.
The Rakhine or the government?
And both of them.
Would you call this state-sponsored ethnic cleansing?
Exactly it is. Otherwise they could have prevented these things within hours. Still they are not going to prevent it. They let it escalate. You see? Why didn't they protect this Muslim minority there? That means there is something behind.
Why would the Burmese government be sponsoring this violence or allowing it to happen?
Ethnically, they don't want Rohingya to live in Arakan, to let them live in Arakan. They want to get rid of Arakan to what you will call as annihilate them from Arakan state so that it becomes purely Buddhist state. Only Buddhists can stay there, Muslim cannot stay there. That means one thing.
You blame the Burmese state?
I don't blame the Burmese people, but the Burmese government is responsible for this.
Nearby, I was able to get into one of the camps. It's rainy season in Myanmar, making the conditions even harder to bear. These people have been here for over a month. Their homes no longer exist. They have nowhere to go.
There are 18 people who are died since the beginning of...
Died of what?
The children got diarrhea and malaria and the other diseases. And for the moment, most of the children are getting malnutrition.
What's wrong with this child here?
He got high fever with convulsion.
The people asked me to report that they desperately need medical supplies, as the government isn't supplying any. Inside the camp, there are further stories of the violence. This man tells me that Rakhine people came to attack the mosque in which he was praying.
One of his elder brother, tried to save the mosque, and he doesn't know who was the one to shooting the gun. So his brother died on the spot with the shooting with the gun.
Do the Rakhine people have any guns?
Actually, the Rakhine people don't have gun, but the police and police force department were together with the Rakhine communities. So they could not recognize who was the one shooting the gun.
This is Imam, a local religious leader, also now a refugee.
How many mosques have been burnt down in Sittwe? Do you know?
27 masjid.
Why were these mosques burnt down?
The Rakhine communities tried to ban the mosques as priorities.
Around 2,000 people live in this camp, just a fraction of the tens of thousands who have lost their homes.
We do get the impression that this is the camp with the best conditions. The army, the police have been able to come in, clean it up. People here are getting enough food to survive at least. But there are many more camps in the country, especially north of here, and we have no idea what the conditions are like there. People here tell me that they are dire.
As I left the camp, I got the impression that these people wouldn't be leaving for a long time. Without help, some of them, mainly children, would soon be dead. Nearby, we saw the heavily escorted former Vice President of Indonesia's convoy. He, along with the UN and Human Rights Watch, have been some of the lone voices raising allegations of serious human rights abuses by the government. The silence elsewhere remains, including from Myanmar's recently released heroine, Aung San Suu Kyi. Back at the well-stocked Rakhine refugee camp, I was introduced to a local Buddhist head monk. I wanted to put to him one of the most surprising allegations I had heard.
I've been told that some Buddhist monks have been stopping food, humanitarian aid, getting to Muslim people.
He tells me that although he doesn't agree with them, he has heard that some monks have been stopping the aid getting through.
Where do you think the Muslims should go now?
We don't know. No idea.
Back in the capital Yangon, I was invited to a Rakhine Buddhist cultural center for some re-education. First I was given a lecture as to how Rohingya people are new to the country and should be regarded as instead illegal immigrants from Bangladesh.
We have the Buddhist faith. You know, we can do this, like this, threaten like this to kill the one people.
But the many Rohingyas have been killed. Many international organizations.
Not by Rakhine people, you know.
Not
Who
by
have they been
Rakhine
killed
people.
by then?
But
Who have they been killed by?
This is against between the Rakhine people and the Rohingyas. Rohingya kills Arakanese people. You see?
But who's killed the Rohingyas?
No, we don't kill them.
But who's burning the Rohingya villages then as well?
They burn themselves.
Burn their houses.
This is a very, very,
The Rohingyas burn their own villages.
strange
they
thing.
burn their houses themselves.
Because
it's a right.
It's a right thing.
I'm sorry, I find that very hard to believe.
Evidences.
The situation is the situation is.
Photos of what?
Photos. They are burning themselves, their houses.
Can you get them?
Yes. Please,
Perhaps unsurprisingly, they were unable to show me any evidence of Rohingyas burning down their own villages, but they did show me pages of gruesome images. For the first time, I realized how such levels of hatred could be reached. Under each shocking image, there were captions describing how Muslim people had done this. Pictures do speak 1,000 words, but it's impossible to tell whether any of them are true. They then showed me footage of events they said were filmed in Rakhine province.
And who are these people?
Yes, Muslim, you so-called Rohingya people.
What you call Rohingya people, they come to ban Rakhine people. They come together with a lot of.
So many ants.
It is evidence.
Why are they doing this though?
Because they like to destroy.
But there must be a reason they did this. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
What they neglect to tell me is the stories that events like this happen because Muslim people were first shot by security forces.
Where should they go now? Are they welcome to live in your state? They're not.
So they should have nowhere.
They should have nowhere.
Nowhere. Today, the answer is nowhere.
So what should happen to them then?
What should happen? So,
What should happen?
the government say today is they put together in security effects and
because Bengalis are very
and we have to.
They would like to genocide us, you know. Genocide.
Yeah.
Bengalis would like to.
Bengalis like to genocide Rakhine people. We believe it because of their manners, behaviors.
For many decades.
What are they like? What do you mean their manners?
They are very rude, you know, very cruel.
It seems a lot of people in Burma hate the Rohingya. Why is that?
It is because the government is showing Rohingya as a danger of their state. You see, they are Rohingya, they are Muslim, their population is growing faster, and they will influence the whole country. One day they will become the dominant peoples in our country, and their religion, Islam religions, will be state religions of Myanmar. This is wishful thinking. We are just 1% or 2% of the total population. How can we grow and overwhelm the whole population? Is it imaginable and is it logical? No.
Also at the cultural centre, I was able to see the effects of this propaganda firsthand on the most unlikely of subjects.
Do you think any humanitarian aid should go to Rohingya people or Bengali people if they need it?
No, and they should not be there. Yeah.
They shouldn't be in Rakhine.
Yeah.
So
because they are not citizens.
So does that mean they shouldn't be helped, even if they're starving?
Yeah.
You think the Rohingya Muslim people should leave the country?
Yeah, that's right.
Where should they go?
I don't know stuff.
But do you think the Rohingya people, the Muslim people there, are cruel people?
Yeah, as far as I know, there are also a little curious other people, other religions. Yes.
Why the monks, the Buddhist monks? trying to stop humanitarian aid getting.
Let us not discuss the questions of monks. It is concerned to religion, you see. If my explanation is not liked by the public, it will become a big problem for me.
You can't really criticize them.
Let me not discuss the questions of monks.
You can't criticize the monks.
I think monks are also against us.
People want.
The women then showed me a letter they had sent to the government.
We didn't live together with Bangladeshi people in these two towns, so authority, please be separate us. So authority agreed this, and the Bangladeshi were separated from this town.
So the Burmese military are moving.
Yes, military.
Rohingyas to other towns.
Other towns.
Not
other towns.
The same town,
the same
but
thing town with the village, separate village.
If UK would like to sympathize you, them, Rohingyas, please, we would like to send all of them to your country, okay?
What they want to receive, but so many.
Will you accept them?
We have to find so many problems. We have to find this.
Some people would call that ethnic cleansing.
No, ethnic are us. No, not them.
They are not.
We are ethnic
ethnics.
people. Real ethnic people are.
We are
Surely they're ethnic.
No Rohingyas. They are not our national.
Ethnics.
No, our ethnic groups. Please don't say it like this. Very angry. They are no ethnics.
Back in Sitwe, the streets are empty at night. Only animals are allowed to roam. A motorbike comes towards us.
Look, he's running away. He thought we were police or something.
There is a curfew in place. There are no longer any Rohingya shops in Sitwe. The owners have either fled or been forcibly removed. They are unlikely to return. These streets have already been ethnically cleansed.
Well, it certainly is peaceful. During the heaviest of the violence, the army admitted shooting dead 7 people who broke curfew. Now, if you get caught, it's a 6-month prison sentence. No wonder it's so peaceful.
I asked this man if the curfew had helped stop the violence. He told me it had, but if the Muslims returned, it would start again.
Are you happy the Muslims have been moved out of town?
He says they can't live together anymore.
Can I ask everybody here, there seems to be a lot of hatred. Do you hate Rakhine people?
तुम्हारा मुख्य कलर दास मुंगर देशक दिया से नहीं बोले
नहीं आरले बीसी पुराने को रिया आरसी कोरी को जिता से
No, that they have very good relationship with the Rakhine.
Is that true with everybody? Does anybody here hate Rakhine people?
तुम्हारा एडो पुत्र आपसे मानुष को मगर मुंगर दे मानुष आसे नहीं बोले It was happening by not only the Rakhine, it was a combination of Rakhine and government.
In Sitwe, I've seen that some of the houses, Muslim, Rakhine, they're together, they're amongst each other. Do you want to go back to that? Can you live together?
We can stay together in mixed Rakhine, but it's depend on government. If the government take the in charge of that case, so we will have it will be easy for us to stay with Rakhine.
What's the most important things for your human rights?
Yeah, first of all, we need to be citizen. Yeah, if we were citizen, everything is gonna be okay.
In the 2 days we spent in Rakhine province, we were only allowed passage through a fraction of the affected area. The rest is under strict military lockdown, off limits to aid organizations, human rights groups and journalists. I continue to hear horror stories from inside. Meanwhile, most of the world remains silent.